98FM. 98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.
Now, next on the programme, here is a question for you. Should the government be doing more for single parents so that they can afford childcare? Are you a single parent who is struggling to afford childcare? Do you think that the government should pay more towards single parents to help them with the huge costs of childcare so that they can return to the workforce? I want you to consider this situation. A 30-year-old single mother with 2 children. She wants to go back to work but can't afford the huge cost of childcare fees. Should it be made easier for her to return to work? Well, a report out today has found that almost 1 in 5 lone parents are better off not working due to the cost of childcare. New research by the ESRI shows that the price of childminders and creches is a huge factor. Research officer Dr. Claire Keane said, "We have extremely high childcare costs compared to other countries. If we move to include childcare costs, 16% of lone parents are financially better off not being in employment. The average cost of childcare for 1 month can be up to €900. And our question is it time for the government to do more to help single parents to pay for this so that they can return to work? Our telephone number is 6797 981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. Or maybe you believe that, because we got a message in a couple of minutes ago saying something to this effect, it was on our Facebook page, that a lone parent is better off being a parent. And forget about going to the workplace. And the government should actually be encouraging lone parents to be parents staying at home with their kids. Which do you think is a better thing to do? Call me right now on 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp 0877 98 98 98. Should the government be making childcare more affordable so that lone parents can go back to work? Or should they be making it easier for lone parents not to go back to work and stay and mind their children? Call me right now. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Niamh, you're on 98FM. How are you, Niamh?
I'm good, Adrian. How are you?
Now, Niamh, you believe that the government should subsidise childcare for everyone, not just lone parents?
I think it should be have a cut-off point so that people who, middle and low income as well, who are also struggling to pay for it. Because I think what happens when they start saying we're going to do it for lone parents, you're going to have, as usual, the people coming out and saying, single parents this, and kind of putting the spotlight on them as well, which can
I know, but there are
very divisive.
There are extra difficulties for lone parents returning to work. You have to accept that.
There are, of course there are, and it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. But I think the problem is that when they start putting the highlight onto one section of society, you're going to have people giving out yet again and targeting, social welfare this, social welfare that. I think if they didn't particularly say it was just for lone parents, that it was for anybody who was finding it difficult under a certain income level, then it would be seen as fairer, and nobody, because you're going to get people giving out that because it's single parents. And instead of, they have as much right to work as anybody else. And it is, as you say, there is additional difficulties. But instead of putting the spotlight on them, make it for anybody under a certain income level. Because it can be difficult for everybody who's trying to go back to work. But yet again, because they're saying lone parents, you're going to have people giving out because, if they should have thought about this and blah, blah, blah. And having something to say just because they're lone parents. And I think that they're kind of always getting the spotlight put on them and kind of having people have a green light for giving out about them. So instead of highlighting them as a group of people, just say anybody under X amount of money can get help with, if they need it, and they have to prove they need it, with childcare. And then everybody will feel, well, that's fair, and nobody's going to get stigmatised for it.
Okay, let me again focus on, I know, for example, I've spoken to many lone parents who find it really difficult to go back to work because of the cost of childcare, and they will argue, and in fact this report backs it up, they will argue that it is more financially beneficial for them to not go back to work than to go back to work. So surely it should be made easier.
Absolutely. I mean, Aidan, years ago I was that soldier. I was a lone parent and I was trying to go back to work. And it was really difficult. Really, really difficult. Especially, I didn't live around my family, so it was just me. I didn't have anyone to leave her with. It had to be paid childcare. I didn't have family and friends to leave her with. So it was really difficult. It was. I hate the fact that when they make it about lone parents, it becomes like people giving out about lone parents. And I think instead of saying, making them visible again as a group of people, just say, look at anybody under a certain, and 90% of people might be lone parents that come in under that financial bracket, and that's fine. But instead of just highlighting this, just say, look at anybody under a certain amount of money who needs help with childcare will be helped. But don't just highlight them and give people, yet again, because I'm sure, I haven't seen Facebook this morning, but I'm sure even on Facebook, people are giving out saying, oh, well, they should have done this and they should have done that. And they get enough stick. They get a lot of stick as it is.
And what do you say to somebody, because we got a message in saying pretty much this, that lone parents shouldn't be given any help. They made their bed, they should lie in it.
You see, there it is. There it is. There it is. And that's the thing. Why? So just because a lone parent is a lone parent, that's automatically, if it's a woman, it's automatically her fault. Maybe the man walked away. I mean, you can't judge absolutely everybody by a certain standard. I mean, people are lone parents for a variety of reasons. Perhaps their partner is dead. Perhaps their partner has walked out on them and they have no way of getting any help from them whatsoever. It's not always their fault. And that's where this is the problem now, because they've used the title, let's give lone parents help. Suddenly everyone's on the lone parent bandwagon.
Okay, stay there for 1 second. Our telephone number is 6797981. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. New research by the ESRI shows that the price of childcare and creches is a huge factor preventing many lone parents returning to work. The report says that 1 in 5 lone parents are better off not working due to the cost of childcare. And that's what we're talking about, and we'd love to hear from you on 6797981. Should it be made easier for lone parents to go back to work? Ciara, you're on 98FM. Hiya, Ciara.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Ciara. What did you want to say on this?
I really just want to talk about myself. I recently had a baby there 6 months ago, and I'm due to go back to work. Mm-hmm. But that's going to cost me €200 in childcare fees. Now, €200 a week. A week, yeah.
Okay.
And you're debating whether to go back to work or what to do, because that's going to cost a good €800 a month. Now, I work in childcare myself, and he will be able to come with me into the creche, but you get no discount. It's still going to be half my wage. I only earn €400 a week myself, And then with this new government schemes after coming in, I mean, you have kids who are in there full time, and their parents are only paying €50 a week because they're on lone parents.
Okay, so you've obviously feel that's desperately unfair.
I do, because you have to look at it in a way, these parents aren't working, so they're off going back home, putting their kids into full-time care, and only paying €50 a week for it. I just don't understand the logic at all in it.
So are you debating about whether or not to go back to work?
I am considering, but then we're trying to get a house, trying to save for deposit, all that kind of stuff. So I have to go back to work. But that's going to make such a dent in our money coming in that it's just crazy. We just think it's absolutely crazy,
So this report says that 1 in 5 lone parents are actually financially better off not going to work. And you would be one of those people.
Thinking about it, yeah. But then as for our future, I have to go back, to get a house, to do what we want to do with my life. I have to, and I know it's everyone's choice and everyone chooses to go down a different path and what they decide to do. But at the same time, it's just a phenomenal amount of money when you're not bringing in a colossal amount of money either, you know?
Well, okay, stay there for 1 second. I'd love to hear from you on this on 6797981. We're talking about whether or not the government should be making it easier for lone parents to return to work, because for many, it is the cost of childcare that is preventing them from going back to work. Jay, you're on 98FM. How are you, Jay?
Not too bad at all.
No, Jay, what did you want to say on this?
No, it's just, is this going to be for people to go back to work or for lone parents to drop the kids off and go back to bed? You know what I mean?
Yes, I assume it's for them to go back to work.
Yeah, but is it going to be done that way that you have to have a job lined up? Or is it going to be done so as everyone gets it and then hope some of them go back to work?
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
No,
It's just going to be given out to every lone parent, and then if they go back to work, great. If they don't, they go back to bed.
No, it's to make it easier for them to go back to work. That's what this...
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So, like, obviously they won't have a job. They'll get this thing for childcare. They still won't have a job. The kids will be getting looked after.
Yeah,
are you going to wait until they have a job, or...?
I assume so, yes.
Well, then it won't be for looking for a job. They'll have to have a job.
Yeah, they have to have a job. Yeah, no,
I mean,
yes. But at this moment, I mean, Ciara, you do have a job.
Yeah, the likes of Ciara that actually wants to go back to work. That's what I'm saying. She wants to go back to work. That's great. I think it's great that they should help people
like her. I've always worked, you say.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They should help people like you. But
that's what I mean,
people,
exactly.
No, what I'm talking about is they're going to be like every single parent out there get this free childcare and then just sit at home anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go back to bed. Because I
work in a childcare setting.
Yeah, I'm sure you see people that drop their kids off and go back home to bed.
And that's the hard thing, you know, and you see the people only contributing and paying €50 a week to get full-time care. Like, I'm talking 8 till 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so imagine them same people getting it for free.
And they're not doing anything. So that's where the law is. I told the government to bring something in to say, right, listen, you'll have this for the guts of 6 months. If you don't find a job or whatever, this will be taken off you. You know, I think there should be some sort of boundary.
That'd be a good start. I wouldn't give them 6 months pay. I'd give them 2 or 3.
Or whatever it may be for someone to find a job. You know how hard it is. But for something to kind of like come to an end, like what are they going to do? Just keep giving this out to people for as long as they need it.
Well, that's the way things happen at the moment, isn't it? So I can't see them changing things. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's always seems to be the people that don't work seem to get the help.
And that's the way it is. But then, like myself, I want to try and get a house. We're trying to do what we need to do. So I have to go back, regardless where it's going to cost me half my wage.
Yeah, I understand. Like you probably end up here saying 200 quid a week better off.
Like,
but you're working 40 hours. Like.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
All right, do me a favour, both of you, and stay on the line there for 1 second if you can, please. 6797981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp the programme 0877 98 98 98. A new report out today has found that almost 1 in 5 lone parents are better off not working due to the cost of childcare. And we're asking, should the government be doing more to help lone parents? Anthony, you were a little bit annoyed by what Jay was saying.
Yeah, a little bit, saying that it shouldn't be a 6-month period for parents to get jobs if they have kids, like 2 months. That sounds a little bit snobbish.
A little bit snobbish?
Yeah.
How?
I mean, saying that lone parents shouldn't get any help, that is snobbish. Anybody who thinks that. For example, one of my sisters has 6 children. The fathers aren't around anymore because one of them was abusive. The other one, he's gone. Don't want to hear anything about him.
Sorry, she's a lone parent of 6 children.
Yeah.
And many fathers should be on the scene.
2.
2
one's
fathers.
Abusive. The other one's, he's out of the picture. He's gone.
And she's now left with 6 children, ranging in ages from what to what?
Well, one of them has been in college. He's out of there now. And the other one is in... he was just on transition year. He's going to be doing his leaving cert the next term. The other one's in secondary school. And how
old is the youngest?
The 2 of them are twins. They're still in primary school.
Still in primary school, okay.
Yeah.
And do you believe that somebody like your sister, we'll say she has 5 children now, if one of them is grown up and gone to college and whatever, she desperately needs help with those, if she were to ever go, does she work, no?
No, I don't really know, because we haven't really spoken a lot recently, because of a big family and other relatives and all that.
Okay, but to the best of your knowledge, she's not working?
No, I don't think so, no, because she has a lot of kids and all that to look after.
Yeah, it sounds like she has her hands full, to be honest. Okay, stay there. And you believe that we should be helping lone parents more?
Yeah, anybody who disagrees, in my opinion, is a snob.
Okay, stay there for a second. 6797 981 is our telephone number. Text or WhatsApp us 0877 98 98 98. Breda, you're on 98FM. How are you, Breda?
Hi, Adrian. I'm fairly annoyed listening to your show right now, because I kind of feel that this is again the workers picking up after the single parents. My point on this is very simple, and it's very, very clear. If you can't afford childcare, you shouldn't have children.
Okay, but not all pregnancies are planned pregnancies, let's be honest, Breda.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't take that. No. I believe that this is a lifestyle choice. That single mothers, a lot of them, knew what they were doing when they fell pregnant. They're already getting all the benefits under the sun. Why should we help them go and put their children into childcare? I didn't get help with my children in childcare.
But you have a husband, do you not?
So why should we have to pay when they don't? Because I have a husband, because I'm married, I should have to be out of pocket when they get it for nothing. That's like going into Tesco and saying, I'm unemployed, give me my food for free. Why should I pay for food and they don't have to?
Okay, being a lone parent, Breda, you've obviously not experienced it, is a...
I didn't experience it because I was responsible.
Okay,
I had children
fine,
when I knew it was the right
but
time.
being a lone parent is a very difficult job, and being a lone parent, if you're totally on your own, be it a man or a woman, by the way, is extremely difficult, because you are trying to...
But that's the choice that these people made.
So what, you believe lone parents get too much as it is?
I'm sorry, I just feel that they're already being helped. We cannot help them anymore. We have our own problems. We have hospitals that need money. We have schools that need money. We don't give money to women who can't keep their legs closed. They're getting enough. If you're a single parent and you can't afford childcare, that's your problem. Stay at home with your child. I don't care what you do, but don't expect the taxpayer to fund your life any more than we already are, because I'm sick of it. This is ridiculous at this stage. I mean, at what point do we say enough is enough? When is the line drawn? Because, I mean, it's even the thought of, asking, should we pay childcare costs for single parents? No, we absolutely should not.
But how are they? Okay, well then how is a lone parent ever going to go back to work if we don't give them a handout?
Well, they should have figured that out before they did the deed, shouldn't they? That's not my problem. I don't care about somebody else's child getting care. I care about my children and my purse and my tax that I pay and my husband pays. And I don't think that anybody listening to your show right now could disagree, because this is it's completely unfair.
It's completely unfair.
Are they going to go into dump stores and get a week shopping for nothing?
So, okay, you would prefer a lone parent just stay at home, because this report shows it today, that 1 in 5 lone parents, they're better off out of work, not working, due to the cost of childcare. So you would prefer them not to work?
You reap what you sow. It's that
doesn't answer my question, Brady. You would prefer somebody not to work?
Yes, sit at home with your child, cut off from the world, without money. That was your choice. I do not believe, I know that's another day's topic, and I know something I've spoken to you before about. I don't believe in accidental pregnancies. How is it myself and my husband were together many, many years before our children came along, and we were able to hang on till it was the right time, till we were financially and emotionally ready and stable?
You're brilliant.
Why is it that I can do that?
Well done. You're brilliant. You're brilliant.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't expect to be applauded for it, but I think it's common sense. I mean, I don't want to be a leech on the state. I don't want my children to be leeches on the state. But these people obviously
Okay, but hang on. I have spoken to lone parents that also don't want to be leeches on the state. They have no choice. They can't go back to work because the cost of childcare is so prohibitive. It just doesn't work.
And next they'll be crying because they can't go on holidays because they don't have the finances. We are not here to fund your petty lifestyle. If you can't afford childcare, if you can't afford children, if you can't afford the financial needs that come with having children, don't have them. Use contraception or don't have sex. I mean, it's that simple.
It's not actually that simple because people can even get pregnant when using contraception. So don't be so naive. Don't be so naive. Seriously. 6797 981 is our telephone number. You can text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. 0877 98 98 98. I'd love to hear from you on this. She's basically saying, if you're a lone parent, tough. Deal with it yourself. The state shouldn't be helping you at all. I agree with that woman there, says this message. Unless a condom splits or a pill doesn't take, there's no such thing as an accidental pregnancy. I don't necessarily think that's true, is it? 6797 981 is our telephone number. Nobody wakes up one morning and decides, feck it, it'll do, I'll cope on my own or whatever. In other words, nobody plans, nobody sets out to be a lone parent. Alice, you're on 98FM. How are you, Alice?
Hi, Adrian.
Good, Alice. What did you want to say?
I just discussed that parent that's on the phone. Because I lost my husband 7 years ago, and I didn't by choice decide to become a lone parent or to look for help to the state. And 8 years I'm on a council list waiting for a council house for my kids and for myself, and I still haven't got support. And I'm not looking for the likes that woman that was on saying that I want her tax money to pay. I paid tax for 22 years. I was left in a position when my husband fatally died. And to listen to her talk about the likes of other people, I thought it was disgusting.
I don't think, and I don't want to put words into her mouth, but I don't think it's you that she was referring to. Was it, Breda?
No, and I'm really, really sorry to hear that woman so upset because it actually wasn't the people who have lost their partners, and I actually feel quite bad now because that's not who I was
But we're all
referring
classified as lone parents.
No, listen, I'm talking about there's a big difference between yourself and who tragically lost your husband and somebody who has, like that previous man on the phone, 6 children for 2 different men, none of whom are on the scene. That's very, very different. There's a difference in the people who have children because they want the child benefit and they're lone parents because they just didn't give a shit. You're different. You're a very different case, so it's not the same. There are different categories. There's the lazy people and then there's the people who've genuinely fallen on hard times like yourself. You're very, very different, and I do apologise for upsetting you or for making you feel like I was putting you into that category because that's not what I was trying to do. God forbid if I lost my husband, I don't know what I'd do. I'd be lost. So I don't want you thinking that I was putting you in that because I was talking about the lazy bitches around Dublin who are going down to the post office to collect their social every week and living off the taxpayers and making that their lifestyle choice.
Let me ask you, Alice, what is your situation with regard to being able to go back to work or wanting to go back to work, or have you wanted to go back to work?
I would love to go back to work, but I'm not in a position to do so because I'm getting rent supplements for my rent. And being a widow, you're allowed to work 19 hours tax-free. But if you work, the 19 hours you work will then be knocked off your rent supplement. So you're then deducted from your rent supplement. So you're in it's a catch-phrase situation. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And so at the end of the day, whatever I have to live on is my widow's pension, which is $253 a week. That's what I get from me and my 2 boys.
Well, that's not an awful lot of money, is it?
And whatever I get towards my rent. But I still have to come up with $150 a month.
But like I was saying, this report out today says that 1 in 5 lone parents, it is just not financially, they won't be financially better off in employment, and that would be your situation.
I wouldn't be able to go out and pay for childcare. I know my kids are a little bit older, they're in post-primary school, which is even worse because it's more expensive when you're going into the winter and you're paying for school books and you're paying for back to school. Okay, you get a back to school allowance, but it doesn't cover the cost. I would love to go back to work. I worked for 22 years. I would love to go back there again, working to support my kids, but I just cannot do it.
All right, do me a favour, Alice, stay on the line there for 1 second if you can, please. Our telephone number is 6797 981. Text or WhatsApp us on 0877 98 98 98. I'd love to... actually, I have a lot of people texting in. I 100% agree with that lady, and that's Breda, and she's basically saying lone parents get enough help. They get enough help. We shouldn't need to help them anymore. Christy, you're on 98FM. How are you, Christy?
Not so bad. Yourself?
Good, thank you, Christy. You also agree, do you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. You know, it's a 21st century, and there's a very good contraceptions method now, you know, and I would say 99.9%, you know, it's effective. You know, so when it comes to accidental pregnancy,
you don't believe you think there's very little excuse for an accidental pregnancy.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
The message that you sent in to us said that woman is right, and how many single parents are really single? Everyone that I know are living with their partners, claiming social welfare. It is a lifestyle.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I know people, and I see people which never worked in their lives. You know, and they just literally having babies. You know, and that's their choice. You know, and they just getting paid for it. You know.
It's a bit. As somebody texted in a second ago, in some cases, and this doesn't apply to a woman whose husband died years ago, or a woman who was married. Another message that we got in a while ago: a woman married with 3 children, and the husband just shagged off, and she got no money. That doesn't apply to her either, but it applies to women who, in your opinion, are almost doing it as a business, having children.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm actually can't say any bad word about people which are real problems in life, you know, because things happening, you know, the one parent passing away or stuff like this, you know, and those are legitimate things, you know. But like I would say, that's maybe 1%. It's a drop in the ocean, literally.
Okay, let me read a message. People are missing this point. I was in a relationship when I had a baby. He was abusive to me, so we split up. Hence, I'm a single parent now. It wasn't by choice. And again, to that person, it's not necessarily you that is being talked about here. It is, and we all know somebody like this. We all know somebody who has had a baby or 2 babies to get their council house or their apartment or whatever quicker, and they didn't have to get pregnant. Eddie, you're on 98FM. How are you, Eddie?
Morning, Adrian. You well?
Good morning, Eddie. How are you?
Not too bad. The first lady you had on earlier on talking about this, she was quite sensible. I believe we have to help them. Reason being, say, for example, argument's sake, there's 10,000 people, right? And they all want to go back to work, and they can't, right? If we can help them for a probation period of about 6 months, we can potentially take 10,000 people off the social. You know what I mean? And you have to look at the bigger picture. Whereas if we don't help them, it will cost the state millions for the rest of their life, keeping them on the social. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you believe that in the long run,
we'll save billions. Say there's a woman there now, 30 years of age, 2 kids, can't go to work, wants to work, and we don't help her. How much is she going to claim out the state in the next 30 odd years? Whereas if we could say, okay, we'll give you a probation period of about 6 months, and if you don't get a job, you're back on a dole. You know what I mean? And if she gets a job, we're saving millions by taking her off the scratcher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that does make a little bit of sense now, I have to say.
It makes massive sense. Now, I actually find myself, I was the one that actually texted earlier on. I actually find myself on a separate subject, agreeing with Breda there. I was the one that said, I don't agree with accidental pregnancy. And I said this to a friend of mine a while ago, right? He has a couple of kids, and he says, they were all accidents. I said, what do you mean they're accidents? I said, did you wear a condom? No. I said, was the lady on the pill? No. I said, so how is it an accident? I said, if you're of an age where you're having sex, you're going to be, maybe 15, 16 on. I said, for example, there's a light and candle. Put your finger in and out of it. Flicking in and out of it. I said, now leave your finger in it. And he goes, no. I said, why not? because it'll burn, he says. I said, so you know the consequences. You're clever enough to know the consequences. And he said, yeah. I said, but you left your penis inside a woman without a condom. And now you're telling me that's an accident. But you were old enough to know the consequences by not taking it out. You know what I mean? And he didn't know what to say. Hadn't got a clue. He's like, well, you know. So in that way, I agree with him. But going back to the other thing, we have to help them. We have to help them. Because like you said, there's a lot of women out there. There is a lot of women that scam the system. We all know that. But there's a lot of genuine people that just fell out of love. Or a partner passed away, sadly, like that lady. Or there's just scenarios out like that. You know what I mean? And we can't just turn a blind eye to it. If these are genuine people that have fell in hard times and they want to get back into the workplace, we have to give them a leg up. That's what it's about. And if we don't, they'll be on the dole for the rest of their life.
And do you understand how people get so frustrated when, on the one hand, they're out working, a husband and wife both out working, they've got kids and they're struggling to pay their mortgage and blah blah blah, and then you see a lone parent with a beautiful apartment paid for by the state, basically.
Frustrating. Yeah, it's very frustrating. But you know what I mean? It's like these lone parents didn't ask to be in that situation. A lot of them like do scam the system and have kids, and they've no intention of ever working, and they get their children's allowance and they're off down the pub or whatever. But there's genuine people out there as well, and we all tar them over the same brush, and we shouldn't do. Okay,
let me read a message that's just come into us, and it says, I don't agree with what was being said on your show. I'm a daughter of a lone parent. I'm almost 19 years old, and I can tell you it's not easy. I've watched her struggle my whole life because my father walked out and had a child with another woman. And that is the point, that for many, many lone parents, it is a massive, uphill, everyday struggle. But for others, and I have to say, I think a lot of people agree, not wholeheartedly, but agree with a lot of what that lady said a while ago, that for some, it is a choice. I'm a single parent due to the dad being a waster. I have to work night shifts included as I have a mortgage on my house. I got an au pair as it's the cheapest childcare option. When you want to, you find the way. I only get child benefit. I'm a low income earner, industrial wage. It's tough, but I get no help whatsoever, says that message. I was married for 23, left as a lone parent, 2 children, lost my job. My lazy-arsed ex-wife wouldn't get out of bed to drop them to school, says, and I'm a man, says Joe in Kildare. And Gerard, you're on 98FM. How are you, Gerard?
Okay.
Good. What did you want to say, Gerard? What did you want to say?
The hardest thing in the world is for one person to rear one child or 2 children.
Yes, I can only imagine.
No, nobody can imagine. It's like Joe Duffy saying he understands when he's talking to people. He doesn't understand. He's on a bleed £1 million a year.
Well, he's not on £1 million a year, but go on anyway.
Not far from it.
What's the point you're trying to make, though?
Yeah, woman that was on the whore tax.
Yeah, firstly, I agree with you that it has to be extremely difficult to bring up children, 1 or 2 children, if you're totally on your own, okay? But the point that that was being made is that for some people, it's not that they make a choice to have a child, but they don't prevent themselves having a child either.
Some people can't use contraceptives.
Stop. No. Okay, hang on. There's more contraceptives than latex condoms. Okay? There's a myriad of different contraceptives. So that's a bullshit reason to get pregnant. I can't use contraception.
So a chemical drug is even better, isn't it?
Here's the argument, Gerard. If you can't afford a child, don't have a child.
That's a Catholic Church reason, isn't it?
It's not. It's not. It absolutely isn't. That's economics. If you can't afford a child, don't have a child. But a lot of people, hang on for 1 second. A lot of people have children without ever thinking of how they're going to afford to pay for it, and the state just jumps in and helps them along the way, makes it easy for them. That's nothing to do with the Catholic Church. This excuse of, I mean, this lady earlier on was saying there's no excuse for accidental pregnancy, and I have to say, a shocking amount of people agreeing with her. And to say that you can't use contraception is rubbish. If you can't use contraception, then don't have sex.
There you go, back to the Catholic Church again.
And Jared, you're being ridiculous now. You're being absolutely ridiculous. Ed, you're on 98 FM. Very quickly, Ed, what do you want to say?
Adrian, I have a very novel solution to all of this.
Which is?
Obviously, I realise that there are exceptions to it. But presumably an awful lot of these single parents actually have fathers for their children. Why don't we let those lazy bastards pay?
I don't know. And I have to say, this is a conversation I was only having earlier on about a girl whose fella walked out on her 3 years ago. She's been left on her own. He doesn't pay a penny.
Exactly.
But she has never pursued him for it either.
But Adrian, that's part of the problem.
Yes, I agree.
An awful lot of these women say, "Oh, I wouldn't ask him for anything." Look, he helped make the child.
Absolutely, and I do agree. I do agree that more should be done to clamp down on the other parent who isn't paying their way, and I really wish we would do something about that. Anyway, look, I'm out of time, Ed. Thanks very much indeed for your call. Thank you all of you for your calls. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on 98FM.